are you doing? Reading. What does it look like I'm doing?
Who reads like that? You look really uncomfortable for a start. Can you even see your book?
Even better than that, now everybody else can see what I'm reading. Don't you like my aesthetic?
Yeah, it's very pretty, but I'm a bit worried that you might set fire to yourself with all these candles and all these dried flowers everywhere.
Well, how do you read then?
Well, I haven't got time to read actually. It's March Mystery Madness, middle grade March, March of the Mammoths, and I've still got 5 hours of editing to do. Today I'm going to talk to you about Instagram and how I fell completely out of love with it and why I am quiet quitting Instagram. I'm Jack. This is Spread Book Joy. If you've not been here before, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back. And today I want to talk about Instagram. I've wanted to talk about it for a long time, but I wasn't quite sure what I was doing with my Instagram account. And I've decided, after much deliberation, to quiet quit. And if you've not heard that term before, I'm going to explain that as well. But that opening that I just shot, I've thought about for a while. It's a real tongue-in-cheek kind of poking fun a bit at the aesthetic side of Instagram that I fully went into myself when I opened my Instagram account. My Instagram account started the same day as I started my YouTube, or it launched on the same day. And I'm going to put some pictures up here, which is why I've kind of left a bit of space here for editing Jack to put in some of my pictures, which I am very proud of, which I love. I went full hard on the aesthetic side of Instagram, though I never went in for the socks. Kind of things, you know, those pictures you get where people just put pictures of their socks with books. So I was kind of poking fun at that a little bit, but I have got some great friends who are still over on Instagram who do amazing work and have amazing accounts, who write brilliant reviews and recommend amazing books that I have thoroughly enjoyed. And I've got friends who are on YouTube who have still got Instagram accounts and they enjoy them and they have fun over there. So that's great, and I'm really pleased for people who are still on that platform, still enjoying it. But I wanted to talk about my experience, and I thought it might be helpful to some people as well who are either a bit disillusioned with Instagram, not sure what to do, or thinking of starting their own Instagram account, because I can talk about the benefits, I can talk about the drawbacks, and my own personal feelings about it and why I'm quiet quitting. So the term quiet quitting is when you basically just it came from the world of work. Quiet quitting, we used to call it work to rule years ago, is when you basically are so fed up with what you're doing that you don't go the extra mile, you don't do any unpaid overtime or work, which a lot of people do, you don't do anything beyond the bare minimum needed to keep your job running and to keep your job. And quiet quitting has come to be the term for it. I can't remember where it came from, but I think it's a lot to do with like a kickback against hustle culture and the sort of advantage that people take of workers, you know, particularly in sort of private sector, for people to want to get on in their jobs, that they end up doing all this work for free. So quiet quitting of Instagram for me is keeping my account open and just not posting on it and not really going on into Instagram at all. So about a year and a half ago, I started getting really disillusioned with it and I haven't posted anything since then. So I'm going to go back to the start of my Instagram journey and talk about Instagram, how my account started, what it was like. I'm going to put pictures up here while I talk, and then talk to you about my disillusionment with it and why I've decided that I don't want to close my account, but I don't want to go back to being a participant in Instagram anymore, not a full participant anyway. So Spread Book Joy started in 2020, like a lot of people's accounts. It started, I was at home, I needed a creative outlet. I actually toyed around for a while with the idea of starting a YouTube channel first. I didn't know about starting Instagram, but then I thought Instagram might be easier because I don't have to talk, I don't have to film, I can just take pictures. So I kind of created both accounts when I decided on my handle, my channel name was Spread Book Joy, and that took a while. And I created both accounts around February of 2020. Didn't actually get brave enough to post anything or feel ready to post anything until September 2020 when I launched my channel and my Instagram. And first of all, Instagram, I had a lot of fun with researching and looking at and following lots of bookstagrammers and seeing how they wrote about books, and it was a really positive community. They were really very welcoming. And before I practiced taking pictures. I was terrible. I put some of my early pictures up that never made it onto Instagram, and I can look back at some of the pictures that I took back in that first year, and they're not great, and they're probably overly fussy and that kind of thing, but I had fun doing it, and I had fun going into secondhand shops and seeking out like little props and things like that, and it became a really good hobby actually, and it allowed me to write kind of mini blog posts. And I also have a website, so it was kind of went hand in hand with writing full blog posts, writing mini ones for Instagram. So I would post a video on YouTube, I'd post daily on Instagram, because I read that you should post daily to try and get your follower count up. And as you know, if you've been on YouTube and you're a YouTuber, when you first start your channel, I didn't do the BookTube newbie tag. That's a whole other story. I didn't do it for another 4 months. So I had no one really watching or listening to me on BookTube. But on Instagram, I found it quite easy to gain followers. I started gaining followers, and there were various ways of gaining followers on Instagram. You can just keep posting and keep engaging. You do have to engage with other accounts. And because I wasn't working at the time, I had time to spend, 3-4 hours a day throughout the day, not in one chunk, just, posting on Instagram, getting to know people, chatting in the messages, in the DMs, and getting to know people. And so I built up a following, on Instagram fairly quickly. I think I hit 1,000 within my first few months, and then I head towards 2,000 really quickly after that, because much like with YouTube, once you gain a bit of traction, the algorithm starts to push you. But I'll come back to that in a second. But the good sides of it, I met a really wonderful community of really welcoming people, very friendly. I was a bit scared about putting stuff out on the internet, a bit scared about putting stuff out publicly and, possibly being shouted down about something. Didn't happen to me. I couldn't have met a nicer bunch of people, and I still enjoyed taking the pictures and writing up the blog posts. Fast forward 6 months later, I'm trying to get back into work, and I don't have time. So I thought, I'll block, take pictures of my photos and stuff, and I'll block film or block shoot or whatever you call it, and I'll use later. There's like loads of apps you can use, to scheduling apps to post. They'll post for you. You just schedule your posts and they'll just post them for you. And I had all of that going for me. But what I noticed was, because I didn't have hours to spend engaging back and forth all day with people and checking everyone else's accounts out, I was suddenly getting moved down the feed. Now, if you subscribe to a channel on YouTube, you're going to see people's videos in chronological order when they post them, of everybody you subscribe to. So if someone posts a video and they have 5 followers, and someone posts a video and they've got 20,000 followers, I'm going to see them exactly when they post them in my feed. Not so on Instagram. So Instagram, when I started on it, didn't have reels as yet. It had stories, which took me a while to get used to, because I really just like the idea of the photography and the writing, right? So then they introduced reels, and at the same time probably YouTube introduced shorts, and I was like, I didn't come on here to make these videos, but I thought, fine, maybe I can do, cut and paste, copy pasta. Basically, I can copy and paste stuff from reels to this to that. So I thought I could try that. And when I did my shorts experiment on YouTube, I did that, and yeah, it was quite nice. It was okay, but I was like, I didn't come on here for that. I like the photos, because I use the photos on my website. I use I trim down my blog posts and use those as book reviews for Instagram. So I started noticing that I was getting less attention on my account, because I was spending less time engaging with Instagram. I wasn't spending less time posting. But then as time went by and I had less time to post, my reach and audience plummeted. So all those hours I had spent building up an audience, building up my account, counted for nothing, because when I had taken a step back and I'd kind of scaled down the amount of time I spent on Instagram, and then my posts also then started getting erratic, because I was getting just too stressed out with it all. then you just really plummeted. So I decided to take breaks. So I started taking breaks, and then those breaks started getting longer. And then I noticed when I came back from a break, I was just hello shouting into the ether. There's no one listening to me. So it felt like I wasn't really worth posting. A few of my very, very good friends would spot me and they would come by and they would say hello. But other than that, it was just dire. And so the algorithm on Instagram, what happens is you'll be shown chronologically on YouTube when you're posting. On Instagram, no. Posts get shuffled up and down. People don't even see the posts of who they're following all the time. They might see adverts because there's a lot of adverts going on. I know there's a lot of adverts on YouTube as well, but the whole interface was just, it's all designed to promote this kind of crazy engagement that you need to do. And then the other way of getting popular is to join things called engagement groups or follow trains. And so I did that in the beginning a little bit, and then I realised very quickly that that's not a good thing to do, because if you join what's called a follow train, you'll jump on this comment thing and you'll follow 10 people, and then people will follow you, and you'll follow everybody on this post, and everyone will follow you, and suddenly you got all these followers, but no one is engaging with your posts. And therefore, if you join a follow train, which is just like someone puts up a post, it's going to be up here for 24 hours, folks, jump on and we'll all follow each other. No one then is going to, unless they're really interested in your account, they're not going to then look at your content. So you can have all these followers, but if they're not looking at your content, that's actually even worse for the algorithm, because you've got, it's almost like you've got bots following you. And then there's a thing called an engagement group, which is a bit more organised than a follow train, where you might be asked to be part of an engagement group. And what you then have to do is people will come and like your posts because they're in your engagement group, but you then have to go and like all of their posts. So you have to spend time doing that. So it all became this really fake thing that was just like a fake popularity contest. It's not about the quality of what you're putting out there. I've seen amazing accounts who put their hearts and souls into their posts, into their pictures, who do not have the recognition that and they're regularly posting and they're regularly engaging, and they still didn't get necessarily where some other people might have got if they're a part of an engagement group, So I'm just not, Instagram to me, there are good parts to it. Like I said, I found some brilliant books, I found some brilliant people, but you're that term doom scrolling. You have to scroll. I don't understand staring at my phone, scrolling for hours and hours and end. I could be reading, or could be engaging with real people, or I could be watching YouTube, because quite frankly, I get far more out of watching YouTube, because there will be lovely blog style reviews and conversations going on Instagram, but 9 times out of 10 there are very shallow surface things going on, a post of what they're currently reading, but how's your day kind of thing. It's like, great, I can see what you're currently reading, but tell me about it. Whereas I go onto YouTube and I get a lot out of YouTube, which is why I'm still here. YouTube has its downsides too. There is an algorithm that no one can fathom. There are cliques on YouTube as well. I'm sure I haven't bumped into them, but Instagram can be very cliquey. And the real engagement that I get in the buddy reads and group reads I've done on YouTube have been really genuine. I've made genuine friendships. I've met people in real life. And I've done some group reads over on Instagram. I've been part of various groups on Instagram, and I have to say, it is just not the same. It is not the same, not for me. And this is my experience, okay? So I need to caveat that, because I think a lot of people have plenty of positive experience with Instagram. This is my experience. So I put a lot of work into that account. I think it's very pretty. I'm quite proud of it. My little aesthetic that I got going. Because I wasn't joking when I was talking about my aesthetic, isn't it pretty? But I felt like my account was very pretty. I put a lot of work into it, but I put a lot of work into the reviews as well. So that's what it was about for me. And I thought for a while, well, maybe I could just start posting my reviews. I don't have to respond to stuff, but I don't want to post things and then lovely people comment and I don't go in and comment back, because I think that's just not nice. I will still go in and check my DMs every now and again. I get a message, but I just find it all far too surface, far too, I don't know, whatever Instagram is, it's not got the depth, and it's not got the interest for me that YouTube has. But I did put a lot of work into it. So I'm quiet quitting. I'm going to leave my account up. Spread Book Joy will stay on Instagram. I might do one final post, maybe saying that I've quiet quit in case anyone wants to come and look for me. They can see my final post. Say, come and find me on YouTube. Come and check my links and email me. Because I almost missed a message from the lovely Krista at Books and Jams, who invited me to be part of the Middle Grade March readers, like booktubers recommend video, and she did that over on the DMs and Instagram. So I need to keep checking it every now and again, because sometimes people message me on there. But yeah, so that's my Instagram story. That's how I've come to quietly quit Instagram, and why I'm still on BookTube is because BookTube, for me, I'm still really into. I mean, I'd really be into the process of taking pictures of my books and writing the little mini blog reviews on Instagram, but I just feel like that's work that is going there, getting out there, and then I'd have to go and doom scroll and engage, and it's, you know, not getting the return really. It's not, I'm not willing to give my life to Instagram, which is what Instagram wants. And some people might say that about YouTube, but you know, I still enjoy YouTube. I get a lot out of YouTube. I get a huge amount out of it. In comparison to the amount of effort I put into Instagram, to the joy I get out of BookTube, there is no comparison. So, do you have a Bookstagram? Do you know Bookstagram? What do you think of it? Do you think I should just quit entirely? I'm also really, one thing that really annoyed me about Instagram was with YouTube, everyone gets a YouTube Creators Studio. You get all your stats and analytics. On Instagram, you have to have a business account to do that. Now, I wanted stats, so I got a business account. Then I had to get a Facebook account to get a business account. I stopped using Facebook personally a long time ago, and I had to create a new Facebook account because I didn't want people to start finding me on Facebook, because I didn't want to start all that up again. And then I had to create a Facebook account, so I created Spread Book Joy. And before I'd put out one post, nothing, I just created the account, I got banned from Facebook as a hate crime or a person spreading hate speech. It was called Spread Book Joy. I'd not even posted a post, and there was no way to, you know, recall that. So what they did was they blocked my account. I wasn't allowed to use that handle. I had to create a new one. So I am Spreading Book Joy on Facebook, which really gets to me. And I wasn't allowed to, you know, appeal that. Once they say, no, you are spreading hate speech, even though I'm not, and there are plenty of people who are, my account was shut down. My handle was gone. I couldn't use that handle. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Meta, or whatever they call themselves, that run Facebook and Instagram. And Instagram is run by them. So that's my Instagram tale of woe. You can go and follow me if you like. Check out my posts. They are actually quite good. What I've started doing, and if you have got an Instagram account, I would suggest doing it, because lots of people get their accounts cloned and things like that, is I've started, I got all my data from them, because you can request all your data. So I've got all my data back, all my pictures back from them, which I've still got a lot of anyway. But I've started also, I couldn't find where my posts are with my reviews on, so I've started copying those over. So I've got those, and I'm going to whack them up on my website when I get my website back up, and well, it is up and running, but get it back up to date. So yeah, have you got any tales of Instagram woe? Let me know in the comments. If you've never been here before and you feel like subscribing, subscribe here. Don't worry about Bookstagram. That's over. Bookstagram is over. If you would like to leave me a comment, please do. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video. If not, leave me an emoji at the bottom with your feelings about this video perhaps, and hopefully I'll see you again here soon. Bye.